How's it going, guys? Winter Kills here, and welcome to a brand new week, and welcome to a brand new Locals feature match. This is round one for my Locals that took place this past Saturday on August 28th, and we have Shaddoll Invoked Dogmatica versus Kozmo, pure Kozmo. So I hope you guys are going to enjoy this one. Pretty interesting matchup here to start things off for this week. Also, just a heads up, there is only going to be 3 rounds this week for features because I did accidentally forget to press the record button before round 3 started. The match you guys missed was Anti-Metaverse Tri-Brigade, and our Tri-Brigade player was able to pull through after a very rough game 3. But as Invoked gets things started here for us, let's go ahead and take a look at the poll results for this particular match. I asked you guys who you thought would win. Just shy of 500 votes, and 76% of you guys are voting in favor of the Invoked Shaddoll deck, while the remaining 24% said that Kozmo would be winning. You know, I'd be lying if I said those results were shocking, so we'll see how this one plays out. Meltdown, followed up by Alistair the Invoker to add Invocation, and on effect activation, looks like we'll see Dimension Shifter be activated. Really strong hand trap. In most cases, it'll end a lot of decks' turns. You know, you activate it while you have no cards in your grave, and then until the end of the next turn, any card sent to the graveyard is banished instead, which is going to hurt the Invoked Shaddoll deck quite a bit because it relies heavily on the graveyard presence, all the Shaddoll effects, things you'd be sending off Natty or Servant, Invocation, and the like. So just a really strong hand trap here to be able to have. I wouldn't be shocked if this literally just outright ends our Invoked Shaddoll player's turn. Now it's just basically up to our Kozmo player to be able to capitalize on the situation that he's found himself in, and the normal summon of Farm Girl is a really good card to have. Alistair will get banished. He'll take 500, and then he'll activate Farm Girl's effect to pay 500 in order to add a Kozmo. And this is happening in the damage step as well. So that cannot be ashed, as I'm sure our Kozmo player reminded our Invoked player. Since Ash does not negate activations, only effects. So we'll be able to pay 500 when Kozmo Farm Girl does inflict battle damage to add a Kozmo, I believe, monster from the deck to the hand. And we'll go ahead and add the Dark Destroyer. The card that single-handedly put Kozmo on the map when it was released. A 3,000 non-targetable body that when it hits the field can destroy a card. But it looks like he's not going to tag out because he probably just does not have the resources to OTK, so why commit the Dark Destroyer to the field, I guess? He'll set 2 and pass it back over to our Invoked Shaddoll player, who is no longer under the restriction of Dimension Shifter. So be able to actually play unimpeded here so long as his opponent doesn't have any hand traps. To slow him down, he's going to start with the activation of Invocation, and due to Magical Meltdown, his opponent cannot activate any cards or effects in response to the activation of a fusion spell, or anything in response to the summon of a fusion monster summoned that way. I believe that's how Magical Meltdown is worded. So this Invocation is going to resolve 100%. He will pitch a Nibiru and a Squamata, and since he's using all materials from his hand, he can fusion summon any monster. Does not have to be an invoked monster, so he will go for the El Shaddoll construct. Chain links will probably be as followed: Construct 1 and Squamata Chain Link 2. The construct will allow him to send any Shaddoll card from the deck to the graveyard. Same thing can be said alongside the Squamata. So, I mean, back in the day, you used to be able to use this little combo to search any Shaddoll card in the deck, because your construct would dump your fusion, and then your Squamata would dump your core. Core would add back the fusion. There you go. You've just searched a fusion. But it looks like he's going to dump a Shaddoll fusion off the construct and dump a Squamata off of the, or dump a dragon off the Squamata, or lizard as it was formerly called for those that remember way back when. And he's going to use Shaddoll Dragon's effect to be able to target a spell trap the opponent controls, I believe, and destroy it. And it's going to hit a set Super Poly. I don't know if Super Poly would have been live here. I don't think it would have mattered, though, because he couldn't activate it because of Meltdown. Well, he could have definitely chained it to the dragon, that's for sure, but I don't know if that would have been in his best interest, since he would have, A, gotten a monster from the extra deck back, and also gotten back his Shaddoll Fusion. So he's basically completely safe to play around that Shaddoll, or that Super Polymerization there, because that would just allow our Shaddoll Invoke player to go Omega Plus. He will use his normal summon this turn for Alistair. Gotta feel good there to have that, to go ahead and search out Invocation. And not to mention, thanks to the D-Shifter, that Alistair was banished. So the Invocation that he used to start his turn, he was able to put back into the deck to add back the Alistair to the hand, and then normal summon the Alistair to add back the Invocation. And of course, Invocation is not a once per turn. So he's going to go ahead and activate it, banish Alistair from the field, and a Nibiru from grave, giving him the light target he needs to be able to fuse into Invoked Mechaba, which we know is the Omni Negate for the Invoke strategy. One of the best fusion cards single-handedly the deck has access to, outside of Winda, Apgalone, and Construct. It looks like he was debating on going to Gravity Controller there, perhaps wanting to get in some damage. He doesn't have to worry about the tag-out effect here of the Farm Girl, because I believe that Mechaba can negate activations. So it looks like he is going to try to activate the Farm Girl on attack declaration. And he'll negate by pitching Beast, and he'll swing in for 25 and 2,800. Something's going to happen in a little bit that isn't going to make too much sense, but I'll explain it right now. I think our Invoked Shaddoll player forgot that he could have redeclared with the Mechaba, because the total amount of monsters on the field has changed because he used Farm Girl. So he would have gotten a replay with the Mechaba. So they only took it as he took 2,800, but he's like, oh wait, I could have gone in for 25. And both players were fine with going back to do that. He was going to go for the Gravity Controller. Yeah, he's like, oh, I'm just going for 25 first. Fix the life points here. So he is left at 2,200. It is what it is. Goes into the Gravity Controller main phase 2, which is an incredible link just to be able to get Construct to the grave to get back one of your fusions. He'll set the Schism, which is now live, which is a pretty good card, but it's not so good against Kozmo, because they don't really need to rely special summon him more than one time a turn. And if they do, it's like Dark Destroyer, and that's getting over your Winda basically. End phase Cosmic, spending another 1,000 life points to banish that spell or trap on the board, going to get rid of the Schism. Pretty good hit there. So we'll drop him down to 1,200 to his opponent's 75, and we know he has Dark Destroyer in hand. And I'm not really sure what the other card is, but that Dark Destroyer is not going to do him too good. I don't know why he didn't tag into the Dark Destroyer the previous turn to get the 3k damage on and have a much more formidable body. I'm not sure why. Yeah, I don't know. I don't know if it would have made a difference ultimately, but he definitely could have done it. So it looks like he's going to go ahead and read the Construct, and we'll see what he wants to go ahead and do next. I'm just pulling up Dark Destroyer's text. Targets a monster. Okay. Targets one monster on the field. I just wanted to double check to make sure it just didn't pop any card. It's been a long time since I've had to know exactly what Dark Destroyer did. Yeah, so it looks like he has Nibiru, Super Poly, Dark Destroyer, and I think the last card is Monster Reborn in hand, now that we got actually a decent look at the hand. So probably reading the Construct because, maybe he can go ahead and reborn it out of the grave and try to do something with it. Out the Mechaba in the battle phase, since it does destroy any special summoned monster it attacks, either at the start of the damage step or damage calc. So that is a possible route for him to take, but as we know, our Invoked player did have a spell in his hand to be able to readily negate it. Thanks to the Shaddoll Fusion, he was able to add back off Construct. And, with the hand that he has, I don't know if there was a Super Poly target he could have gone into with the Gravity Controller and the Mechaba. I'm not too sure, but it looks like he is just going to scoop up. And we're going to head into a game to Invoked Shaddoll, one game up over Kozmo. And as they get ready to start, let's make a quick shout out to our sponsor over at Imperium Duelist. If you guys are interested in picking up any amazing playmats, sleeves, deck boxes, etc., or the awesome extra deck sleeves our Invoked Shaddoll player is using, they are from Imperium Duelist, and you can get anything on their site for 10% off using my discount code WinnerKills10 off at checkout, and support the channel in the process. And same thing can be said if you guys are shopping on TCG Player. Please do not forget to use my affiliate link down in the description below, because anytime you guys shop and check out using that link, a small bit of the revenue from your purchase will go right back into the channel and helps out a ton. But let's get back into the game here. Our Kozmo player letting Invoked go first again, which is not so surprising since, you know, he did get to open the D shifter again. But he did also activate Lancia, which is interesting. You know, I would think that the D shifter would be enough. I don't really know that you necessarily need to shotgun the Lancia alongside of it, because all their stuff is getting banished, and then they can't banish cards. That seemed a little suspect to me. I don't know. Either way, he's going to pass turn. He has Invocation, Fleur, Maximus, and Cosmic in hand. I mean, it doesn't seem like there was much he could have done with that hand regardless. Maybe he could have gone into a Mechaba, but yeah, I don't know. Either way, he's going to pass turn. I don't know how that interaction works. You're under D shifter, and then you chain Lancia after. I don't know. But our Kozmo player normal summons the Wicked Witch, runs over the Alistair, sets one, and passes. Not a very eventful turn. Our Invoke player is going to start with the Cosmic. He'll hit another set Cosmic, so he'll pay down 1,000 life points to gladly remove any back row threats. And I think he also has an Nadir Servant in hand. My goodness, that's a really good card to have. And I think he may have also drawn a Shaddoll monster for turn, which is really, really good. He could kind of start this this turn off kind of like how he did turn 1. Or not his turn 1 game 1, but I think his turn 2 game 1. Where he was able to fuse from hand using just the Invocation. And he has a Squamata too. It's like probably one of the best Shaddolls. He could have opened here with this particular setup. So Chainlink 1 Construct and Chainlink 2 Squamata. Send and then send. So it looks like Squamata's probably going to send the Shaddoll Fusion. Or perhaps Schism in this case. And we'll see. And I guess with the existence of Gravity Controller, like the... I was going to say Shaddoll Core could always be kind of viable in Shaddoll nowadays, but thanks to Gravity Controller, the purpose of Shaddoll Core is kind of defeated, because you don't need to use Core to add back the spells and traps you're sending off your Construct. You can just, you know, put your Construct to the grave turn 1 because of a little mechanic called Link Summoning. We're going to see the Construct send Wendy, and Wendy will activate his fact to special summon a Shaddoll monster from the deck in either face up or face down defense position. He's going to choose the Shaddoll Beast. And then the Invocation will return itself to the deck and add the banished Alistair the Invoker back to the hand. And so we can go ahead and basically literally do the exact same thing he did game 1 turn 2. D Shifter will only do so much if you're able to capitalize on it. And this is one of those decks where, like, you have to capitalize on it, because even the Banish synergy isn't so terrible. As we saw, the Alistair being put to the Banish zone is, like, almost not a drawback, especially since our Invoked player already had access to Invocation by the time that card was already banished. So he basically gets the double use out of it, which is really good. He gets to normal summon it, add it back, go into a Mechaba, and then, my goodness, follow up with the Nadir Servant. Yeah, things not looking good for our Kozmo player here. He also, you know, decided to use one of the fusion materials from his opponent's grave. He had a nice little light monster there by the name of Artifact Lancia. He'll get rid of that. Nadir Servant will dump Shaddoll Winda from the deck to the grave to go ahead and add Dogmatica Ecclesia. Winda will activate to add the Shaddoll Schism. And, yeah, he doesn't really need Winda here. This is, again, one of those decks where, like, Winda is not that strong, and I think he's picked up on that after realizing, you know, what he's playing against. So why dump something else to the grave when you don't need it? Especially, like, if Schism's already in your grave, why not just dump a Winda as well? Just so you can add it back. You don't need to go through a lot of extra resources. So he'll dump the window. He's got Construct, Mechaba, 3 cards in hand: Schism, Fleur, Ecclesia, or Maximus. And he's got a set beast. Like, he is definitely in the driver's seat currently. He'll go battle phase and attack over the Wicked Witch with the Mechaba. He'll pay the 1,000 to make sure it can't be destroyed by battle or card effects this turn. And then Construct will run over it as well for an additional 900 damage, because I believe the Wicked Witch is at 19. A very strong body. Likes to stick to the field just by paying that 1,000 life points. So very sturdy card, if you will. And then it looks like in main phase 2, we're going to see him commit the Ecclesia to the board. He'll to special summon it while he controls a monster that was special summoned from the extra deck. And he'll use that to go ahead and add a Dogmatica card. We'll add Dogmatica Punishment, which really good here. I mean, not so good against Kozmo, especially if you're trying to send things like Entis, because a lot of the Kozmo cards will get their effects when they're destroyed, or some of them outright cannot be targeted. And some of them negate traps, like the Dark Eclipser. But looks like he's going to scoop there. Not really having the best hand, and especially going against that board, it's going to be a GG. Invoked taking this one 2-0. If you guys want to see more of my content, click on one of the videos popping up on the bottom of the screen right now. And last but not least, I want to give a special thanks to all the Divine Level channel members who go above and beyond to support, and they are Cadillacs84, Pony Stark, and Keith Sidgers. Thank you guys so much for your extremely generous support.